introduction.
Hi there, my name is Doris Jean Thomas. This is a video about my real life business plan called JT Sport Horses. My mission statement is to source and compete the best horses in the world for the sport of 3-day eventing. Ready, set, ride. My business, like I said earlier, is a real life plan which I intend to start in a couple of years. The business is in the equine industry, so what I'll be doing is importing, training, selling, and competing horses for the sport of 3-day eventing, which is a little bit like triathlon, and it is a summer Olympic sport. So what my end goal in my career is to eventually get on United States teams for World Championships, Pan Am Games, Olympics, and so on. So in order to do that, I have to have a business behind me to kind of support that, and I rely very heavily on sponsors, but I'll get into that in a minute. The reason why I wanted to start this business is, first and foremost, it's my passion. To do horses as a career, you have to be willing to put in the time and the long hours and the stress that it takes, and it's a dangerous sport, and if you're not willing to do it, then I don't recommend taking that on as a career. But I like it and I'm willing to take those risks, so that's why I'm turning it into my profession. But this particular business model that I have structured kind of has a way to constantly be bringing in a cash flow, and so that I can have a consistent stream of money to fund me. So my business is versatile because I can either take in horses to be sold, I can import horses to other countries, I can take in training horses, I can teach people, and I can show horses for people, which is the main part of the business that I want to get into. Basically, charging people a fee every month to train and compete their horses, and then build up a string of horses that can take me on to the team rankings. My business location ideally is going to be somewhere in the United Kingdom. Although it sounds a little bit strange, that is the ideal place to be for this sport because there are much better horses over there. And over there, the sport is lottery funded, so it's, even though the cost of living over there is more expensive than in the States, the cost of keeping horses is a little bit lower, so it kind of balances out. And you can also get into the importing and exporting business because that's kind of a hub for our industry. But if that plan were to fall through, and I wasn't able for some reason to be in England full time, I would want to be in Pennsylvania during the summers and Ocala, Florida for the winters. When I want to start my business is a little bit dependent on what kind of horses I have at the time and what kind of support I have. I would estimate that it's going to be at least 3 to 5 years before I launch my business, because right now I'm only 19. I need a lot of competition experience under my belt at the international level, and I need to build up a clientele before I just go off on my own and start my business. So what I want to do after school is move to England, work for a professional rider over there for a couple years, build connections, get some better horses, and start putting my name out there with sales, and then launch my business once I actually have a full-sized operation that can actually go somewhere. And then how I will get the funding for that and the investments is, in this sport, we are highly reliant on sponsors. So some of these sponsors can either be private investors that pay us to take their horses, compete them, show them, or we get commissions from selling them. Or they can also be companies that pay us to kind of market their products. So some of these products can be horse feeds, equipment, all sorts of stuff or in the industry, and even not even products that are horse related. Some people have sponsors for all sorts of different companies that just pay them to kind of brand their logo and advertise it because they're good enough that people will see it and buy into those products. So getting the sponsors is very important, so you have to be at a high enough level to actually gain the kind of funding that I would need to go on and do this for a living. But that is my business plan, and thank you for watching.